And we are ready to go on chapter 4. Focus directs your talent, you guys. And it is one of those things that, John Maxwell, he is somebody who challenges us every day to do things different than the way we have let ourselves do it or programmed ourselves to do life or have learned how to do life if it isn't getting you where you want to be in life. And what I love is that the thing that stood out to me in this book over and over again is that focus is not natural. And that is where I think sometimes we let ourselves off the hook if we say things like, oh, I'm so scatterbrained, or oh, I'm a squirrel, or oh, I'm, all of these things. And we act like it's just the way we are. It's the way everybody is, really. It's the difference is people who recognize it and realize it's not getting them. How you are is not getting you where you want to be, and you are determined and decided to go do something about it so that you can get to where you want to be in life instead of where life has taken you, which this book talks about. But I love how he says it's not natural and that it takes effort. Everything. That's the thing that I kept, yeah, already amening. That's the thing that I kept like having stand out to me is that this isn't something that's going to be automatic for any of you. So if you think it's going to just happen, you guys, it's not. If you haven't put any effort into learning how to get and I'm going to talk about all these things, your priorities in order, and then focusing on those every single day to get them going in the direction you want, you're not going to end up where you really want to be. And I know we know where we can go with this business. I know you've been taught to dream and taught to discover your whys and all of those things. But if you're not um, focusing on what you have to do in order to make that happen, you're never going to get there. So just let's recognize it. The good thing is that even though he says it's not natural and it takes effort and all of these things, what he also does in these books is he gives us the tools of the how to. He's like, okay, here's what lack of focus will do for you. Here's what focus will do for you. Great. But here's how you get it. And that's what I love about it. So he says that, if you watch small children play, they move quickly from one toy or activity to another, and they expend a tremendous amounts of energy, but get very little done. And I say that all the time. You look at kids that are not, on a video game or in front of a TV all the time. You don't see kids that are ever heavy or out of shape because they're just move, 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 move. And if they're at a swimming party, they're not sitting on the side having a glass of wine. They're in the pool, swimming and playing. And I mean, they make me tired just watching them because they're expending so much energy. And it's also how they stay, very healthy. But at the same time, if we do that as adults, we're expending all this energy. You feel exhausted just like those little kids do after a big day of play or swimming or whatever, but you haven't accomplished anything that you really wanted to do. And so we've got to figure out how to focus, even though it doesn't come naturally. He says it's essential for anyone who wants to make the most of their talent. He said, talent with focus directs you and has potential to take you far. So I love the story, you guys. I was laughing out loud when he talked about the story that he went to go speak at in Argentina, and it was the mecca of hunting for, I think it was doves. And he, like they said, if you just shoot in the air, you can't miss. And after an hour, he didn't have not one dove did they hit with their shotgun that was just splattering the sky. And it's like that's how bad you can be if you don't learn how to focus. And he says his guide, the guide finally made an intervention, and because he couldn't take it anymore. And I will tell you guys, sometimes that's how you feel as a leader in Arbonne, and you will feel it, or you will feel it for somebody when you see them, doing all of these things, and you're working so hard in your business, and you're shooting at your business, but you're not hitting anything. And I'm like, there's just a few little things that if you would just like take the time to learn, seek the wisdom that is here for you, that you would be able to make those little adjustments and be able to hit a goal with your wild shooting out there and be able to focus. So he says, quit worrying about what you lost. Focus on getting one, just one. And you guys, that's one of the things that I want to, that whenever I think about that, I think sometimes we focus in this business because business has ups and downs like this, and it's normal business. That's normal. What you do in the dip and the down is the difference maker in people, and what helps people rise back up to higher than ever they were before they had their dip. And that is what we have to learn on this journey. But what stood out to me whenever I read that sentence is the past will always rob you of your future. If you're always focusing on what you've lost, and I hear that a lot in this business, well, I had this person that was in my business, or whenever I had, this in my business, it's like we're always looking at what we have lost sometimes, and we miss out on what's sitting right here in front of us that's begging us to help them with Arbonne. And that is where I want to ask you to evaluate where you are in your thought process, in your business. Oh, you know what? I'm supposed to do this on a live. I'm not doing it on the live. Hold on. With a thought process and in your business, so that you can decide, is this something that could possibly be holding you back? So let me get our live going. I'm so sorry. Chapter 4. Focus. Okay. So now I'll do both. Sorry guys, I forgot to get this started on the live as quickly. So we've gone a little ways, but it's okay. You can catch up. So but the past will rob you of your future. So what are we focusing on? Are we focusing on what is right here wanting us to help them? Or are we focusing on what, and trying to chase down something that we've lost, or focusing on things that we have lost in our business and it's robbing you of your future? What I know we need to do is, and what they had to do when they were shooting at those doves and missing everything, in the sky, is learn from your past. What were they doing not right that made them not hit one single bird in the sky? And what did they need to learn how to do differently? And your past in Arbonne can teach you everything you need to know, good or bad. It can teach you what you do that worked well and you need to keep doing it, or it can teach you what you didn't do as well and you learn how to do it better and different, and you fail forward, just like John Maxwell's book talks about in failing forward. And there's so many things, you guys, that you have to be willing to fail forward in this business and on your journey in life, period, if you want to be able to grow and continue to grow into the person that you have the potential to become. So they went on to find real hunters in their little lunch spot, and they asked how many they had hit, and they said 3. I don't know if you guys think that story is as funny as I did, but I was literally belly laughing. They're like, well, 300's not bad, because they were getting like 1,000 birds or whatever, and they were like, no, 3, like 1, 2, 3. And I was just rolling. So anyway, I hope you guys had as much fun with it as I did. So page 70, he says, if you want to be successful, you must focus on what you can do, not on what you can. And so you guys, this is where I wanted to talk about a little bit about, if you say, I can't get parties, you know what? You're not going to get parties. So quit worrying about parties. Just worry about getting activity for your business, because an activity will breed activity for you. An activity will help you realize you can do Arbonne. And when you can do Arbonne, you do more Arbonne, and eventually you're going to realize you can even get a party whenever you stay around it and you quit telling your brain you can't, you can't, you can't. But if you keep focusing on what you can't do, then you're never going to never going to do what you can do, and realize that some of the things you thought you can't, you can. And I know, again, I always feel like I have to like put a disclaimer out there that you're never going to hear me not say group events and parties. I never call it a party, because nobody wants to do a party, and you can say what you want about that, but people don't think they want a party. But they will do an event, an appointment, an activity, meet with you, get together with you, have a healthy happy hour with you. Any of those things they will do, which is a party. But just be careful and understand that's a mindset that people have, and you have to be willing to work around that obstacle that we face in this business. But a party is always your smartest and best and efficient way to work. However, you have to be willing to know, if you're telling yourself you can't get a party, you're not going to be doing anything in this business. And I would rather you do something that will build your confidence and your belief that someday will build into, I can do a party or a group get together, and let it lead you there. Quit focusing on what you think you can't do, because it's all, whatever you focus on. It was just like he was saying, when you go to buy a car and you're looking for a certain car, what you will end up only seeing that kind of car. And that's what happens in Arbonne. If you're focusing on, I can't get an activity or a business, that's all you, I mean, a party, that's all you do is you see, I can't. We have to change what we're looking for, you guys, and ask yourself, as I say these things, what does my brain tell me? Where am I at, and how is my brain talking to me? Because you're in control of that. And then the other thing he says is an example of the hunting trip is, it's a situation where there were so many opportunities that you missed them all. And that's the other thing, you guys, with people out there, and sometimes even us, not me, because I'm never doing anything but this, but some people come into this business and they think there's so many opportunities out there. If this one doesn't work out for me, I'm going to go to the next one. Well, guess what? The next opportunity, I don't care if it's in network marketing or any other thing in your life, another opportunity in your life, it's not going to work out any better for you than this one, because you're not learning and growing in the person you need to be successful truly in anything. And that's what you have to admit, is that if I want to be successful, just stay here and work through the hard, because it is hard to grow yourself. But when you do, you will be successful in this. So if you want to be successful, he says you must focus on what you can do, not what you can't. Don't let things, stop you, but work to get better, is what my notes said. The power of focus, you guys. He says, without it, you will often feel drained and unable to accomplish much. And that is how people feel. Like we think Arbonne all the time because we're thinking on what we can't do. Like we can't get a party, we can't do whatever. And we feel totally drained and like we've done Arbonne all the time. And yet our volume is at 0. And it's like, you haven't done Arbonne if you haven't done an activity. So let's focus on any activity that we can do, so that we can do an activity that will get us some volume, that will build our confidence and move us from there. I would love for you to come in here and be able to have 15 parties on your books. And if you can, go for it. But if you can't, focus on what you can do and let's do something, because I promise you, there's a whole lot of top income earners in this company that didn't think they could do things in the beginning. I've shared on Cecilia Stoll's Attitude, Belief, and Commitment training. She's like, I can't do a party. I don't want to do a party. I mean, that was our number one income earner's mindset in the very beginning of that training. Martha McIntyre didn't force her to go do anything. She just said, okay, let's get some of your friends together and I'll share Arbonne with you. And now Cecilia is a number one income earner, and she does and teaches parties. So we just have to get started and get out of our way and not let it drain you and keep you from doing anything. So he says, focus, number one, does not come naturally to most people, which we talked about. But you guys, what you need to know is it's a skill that you can develop. And you just have to decide to put the energy and the work into developing it. He says, we live in a culture with all the options and stuff. And you, like I said, be all over the place if you're not focusing. And he says, ours is a world where people don't know what they want and they're willing to go through hell to get it. And that, you guys, I think is where most people live today, is people, because they don't know what they want, they don't know and haven't identified and discovered what your real priorities are for your life, and then learned how to put those on your calendar and focus on those things every day, and taking care and caring for, not just taking care, but truly caring for those priorities in your life, that your life kind of feels like a living hell every day. If it's anything like my life before I figured out how to put more of what I wanted in my life and get rid of the things I didn't want. Some of the things I had to live with in my life, I had to live with because I had created it, and I had to kind of pay the price to get out of it. I mean, not that my job was a living hell, but the time that it took away from my family and the things it did inside my heart, because I couldn't be with my family, was like living in a living hell every day. And that is where, if you will realize, I realized what I had done to be successful was not success to me. So my priorities is whenever I figured out faith, family, I had to have the job that paid the bills to take care of my family and care for my family. But then I knew I needed to do Arbonne if I ever wanted anything in my life to change. So that's how I went about changing and moving my life in the direction that I wanted to, which was out of the living hell, out of the days of discontents, the days of dreams not realized, the days of that were filled with regret of what I did or how I acted because of the stress in my life. All of that, you guys, I don't know if any of you felt like it, but I felt like it was a living hell. I literally remember saying, I feel like I'm backed into a corner and I have no way out. I was trapped. And that is where we have to be able to know what are your priorities. Go focus on those every day to care for those things so that at the end of the day, you can say, I cared for my faith, which helped me care for my family, which helped me to go and do what I needed to do to take care of my family. I cared for my job that was going to care for my family. And then I cared for my Arbonne business to get me to the place where I really want to be and be able to take care and care for those priorities that I have in my life. But it's going to take focus, and you have to pay attention to how many things really are uncomfortable in your life for you to acknowledge it and realize you want to do something about it. You need to do something about it if you want it to ever be any different, and you can do something about it because you have Arbonne. He says the solution to such a predicament is focus, and I believe you have to focus on those priorities. He says to bend all of the energies to one point and just it's like just laser beam, and we hear it all the time. But you guys, what I think we should all really focus on is sponsoring. Like John David said, our CEO, the world needs what Arbonne has to offer. The world needs the gift of this solidarity. The world needs somebody to show up on Saturday morning with them and help them learn how to take control of their life. Let's go invite people into our world and let them come and learn how to be and use all the potential that they were given. And it's going to require us to sponsor people into this business because you believe so much that this business is good for anyone and everyone that comes into it. So you have to, find somebody. Sometimes he had a secretary or has a secretary that helps him maintain his priorities. And Philip helps me do that. I don't know if you have somebody in your life that is like, my kids even did that early whenever they were 8 and 12. And I had conference calls and different things that I needed to do for my business. And they knew this business was a priority for our family. They would be the ones to go if I was cleaning the kitchen and it was almost time for a call. They're like, Mom, you got to go. Get on your call. Like, they help me focus. That makes me cry, you guys. It was such a sweet time. It was like such a team family. You hear me say that all the time. We were such that team family that they were in this with me. And if you can create that in your family in any way, do that, because when you have them helping you keep your focus on what it is that you're doing for them, you feel like you are unstoppable and that there's nothing that can stop you because you have this accountability. But if you don't have people in your family that are helping you do that, know what your priorities are. This is a how-to, and truly know those and put them on your calendar and get rid of anything else on your calendar that does not take you back to what you need to do to care for those priorities. 2, he says, focus increases your energy. It's like passion, you guys. And that's why we need to goal set. That's why you need to know every month what you need to do for your business. And we know that whatever activity you do, and I'm not picky, as long as you're telling your story every day, the one thing that is non-negotiable for your business, and it has to be non-negotiable, is you need to be hitting a $2,500 building block in UNU consistently every single month, and you need to be sponsoring 1 to 2 new business builders a month. Break that down however you need to in activities, in ASVPs, in healthy living and skincare combined. Do it however you need to. But let me tell you, those are the things that cannot be negotiable for you and your business. Have you hit, and are you on track to hit 2,500 building block? And if you're moving and hitting and growing towards the next level in your business, What do you need to do to finish hitting district manager this month? Are you hitting it? And are you on track to hit it? But you need to have those goals, you guys. If you don't have a goal, we've been taught so many things about goal setting in this business. You're that, little like, feather flying out there in the wind, and you're this way and you're that way, and you're like those kids that are over here and over here and over here, and you have all this energy going everywhere, but you've gotten nowhere that you needed to go. You've achieved nothing that you needed to get done. And so you have to truly embrace goal setting and let your upline help you if you need to. If you don't reach out to your upline, they're not going to come chase you down and go, what are you doing this month? Because you know what? Number one, it probably won't do any good, because if you're not interested in setting a goal and learning how to hit it, the teacher can't help you. Number two, if we picked up the phone and said, hey, what are you doing to hit 2,500 this month? You're going to be thinking, because your mindset's not in the right place, gosh, they're calling me to see what they can get out of me this month, because all they care about is how much volume am I going to produce. You guys, do your job. Do what you're taught to do and you know how to do. Goal set a goal. If you need help, ask your teacher, ask your coach, ask your upline to help you, because we will and we can. But if you're not setting a goal and making sure you're absolutely hitting that $2,500 building block and sponsoring those people into your business, you're going to be floating around. You're going to, like I say all the time, you're going to enjoy some benefits from Arbonne, because you will enjoy benefits from Arbonne, but you're going to have a hard time getting to where you need to go. He says, attempting everything like attempting nothing will suck the life right out of you. It will zap you of energy and opportunities, and whatever momentum you have going for you will be diminished. And so you guys, occupational therapy, get up, go to work, because he says, in contrast, focus gives you energy. And I'm telling you, when you become like focused on a goal, you drive forward so hard that nothing can stop you, or things that would stop you or get in your way and cause you to go to the left or to the right never have a chance to distract you or move you off your path, because you're so focused. I have on here, lazy people have zero energy because they're lazy. You guys, seriously. And I mean, this may be in some of your faces, and if it is, it's probably what you need to hear. I always say, please, no, I'm going to apologize right now if I tick you off, because I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And if I say something that upsets you, it's probably the thing you need to look at. So make a little note, dog ear a page in your book or whatever, but just know you need to ask yourself, why am I not hitting my goals? What keeps me from focusing on my priorities every day and making sure I'm caring for those every day? Am I being lazy? We hear in Arbonne, it's either fear or laziness that holds you back. And I will tell you, we have, as hard as we think we have it, we have let ourselves be lazy in moving our lives in the direction we want to go, because we have lost our energy because we're lazy. If you will get a goal and focus, you will gain this energy that you need, that will get rid of the lazy for you. The lazy creates the sedentary, lack of activity lifestyle. But the second you get up and you do occupational therapy, you will end up having the energy that you need to go forward. 3, focus lifts you. It makes you a light and attractive to your world, you guys. Remember how we always say you walk in a room and you want the world to think, I'm not sure what she's got, but I want it. He says, the world stands aside to let anyone pass who knows where he or she is going. In a sea of mediocrity, just knowing what you want to do and then making an effort to pursue it distinguishes you from almost everybody else. Whenever we talk about poser, amateur, professional, the professionals are the ones that know where they want to go. They're focused on where they're going. They're going to get there no matter what. And the world is like, get out of this girl's way. Don't get out of this guy's way, whatever. Don't get in their way, because they're on their way to where they're going, and they will not stop for anybody. So if you get in their way, you're going to get plowed over. Move over. And they sit and watch sometimes. And maybe they don't join you in following you yet, but if you stay focused, no matter what they see that could have stopped you, then they start realizing they can follow you because you're safe to follow. You're not going to let something get in their way and keep you from helping them get to where they need to go. So shoot for the stars. And he said people can shoot for the stars and remain unaffected by the effort whenever you have focus. And that's what I said, just fail forward. We fail in Arbonne on our journey as we're focused on where we're going. We don't always get to move forward as fast as we want, but what we know is that we stay focused and we look at what we can learn and what we, did right, what we didn't do so well, and we learn from it and we move forward anyway. 4, focus expands your life. And he says, when you narrow your view, you widen your perspective. And that is what I mean by knowing what your priorities are. And also, when you focus on your business, you guys, and you take out some of the other things that you have as distractions in your life, and you really focus on your priorities, really, just make it all your priorities, because we have to focus on whatever we want to care for and take care of, but put your business in there. When you focus on that, people will come out of the woodwork. And I know Lindsay has experienced this recently and even shared it on our Team Boxer. Like the days that she gets up and she's like, I am going to talk to somebody new. I'm going to do whatever today. I'm determined, which should be every day of our life. That's when people show up. It's not because all of a sudden they're there. I mean, I do believe providence moves. I do believe God blesses obedience and faithfulness with all of my heart, and that he knows that you will talk to people that he puts in front of you on that day. And there will be people that show up that day for you that wouldn't show up on another day, that he knows you wouldn't even say a word to, if they did sit right here in front of you and desperately tell you how much they needed Arbonne in their life. But what I also know is that those people show up because you're simply focusing on what you need to do to care for your business that day. That's it. Do you realize how powerful focus is and how simple this business is, and how if you've ever said, I have no one else to talk to, all you got to do is focus on your business and you will find a way to find people to talk to. It will happen. I love it. It fixes itself. Number 5, focus must be intentionally sustained, because again, people do not naturally remain focused. It's a skill, you guys. He talks about Hank Aaron, the Hall of Famer, and says, I think what separates a superstar from the average ball player is that he concentrates just a little bit longer. And he says it takes a lot of effort, but the payoff is significant. And that's, a baseball player can have an average of 300, and that's a great average. So you don't even have to be perfect. You just have to be a good average, and you can have a significant difference in your life because you do. Staying successful. He said, several years ago, I memorized a definition of success that helped me. Success is is the progressive realization of predetermined worthwhile goal. While I learned most from that definition is that success is not an event, it is a process. And that's another thing, you guys, another reason I hate, I mean, I loathe the titles in this business, is because people think of a title as a destination of success. And a title is not what success is, you guys. You can get to a title, but you cannot stay at a title if you don't continue the process that got you to that title. And that is what we have to know. And so many people get so focused on a title that when they hit the title, they set back. And you can just, I would love to see the numbers in this company to see how many people, when they hit district manager, area manager, regional vice president, national vice president, and they hit the qualifiers for that month, the next month they drop instantly. You know why? Because you drop doing what you did to get there instantly, and that process comes back. And then the success falls backwards. Success is a process. Success is a process, not a title, not an event, not a one-time thing and then boom, you're successful. It's like saying, I'm going to live healthy for 30 days and then I'm going to eat whatever I want, but expect to stay healthy. Does that make sense to anybody now that you know what health really is for your body? No, we know what success is. We know success is not a title. Success is learning the process of doing every day what we need to do, focusing on it and getting it done. So talent plus focus equals a talent plus person, putting the talent plus formula into action. If you desire to become a talent plus person, you need to make focus your friend, and here's how. Number 1, be intentional, which we've kind of talked about as we've gone through here. I do love this sweet little story where the little girl had to tell her daddy how to get her to school, and they went all the way around even though they were already running so late, and the school was only 8 blocks away, and he was upset with her, and he said, We went the way, or how come you took me all over, the place, and the school was so close? And she says, we went the way the bus goes. That's the only way I know. And I'm like, bless her little heart. That was probably what I sounded like. I think I felt for her, because that's what I sounded like as a parent. I was screaming at my little 5-year-old because they weren't doing everything they needed to do, even though they really weren't able and capable of doing what I was expecting them to do. But if you want to maximize your talent and become a talent plus person, you've got to make every action count. You've removed, and Bill Copeland says, you've removed most of the roadblocks to success when you know the difference between motion and direction. Again, are we this way and we're moving, but we're getting nowhere fast? Or are we heading in a direction with a goal in mind based on our priorities, and we know what we need to do to get there? Because no one ever drifts into success, you guys. He says people who are undecided about what they want to do or where they want to go cannot tap into their strength of will or their talent. As a result, they merely drift along, and you end up wherever life takes you, you guys. And I promise you, people that are focused will use you and put you in their powerhouse and help you get them where they're going, instead of helping you get where you want to go. Have you asked yourself really what you ever want to do? The definition of success. Efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. 2, you need to challenge your excuses. And you guys, we know everybody has excuses, and there's that old saying that excuses are kind of like a bottom hole. Everyone has one, and they all stink. So people who don't know what they're doing soon become frustrated. We all have reasons for not doing what we ought to do. Should we let these things get us off track? No, he says, in an exclamation point. He says we have to, we say in Arbonne, we have to let our reasons become our why. Our reasons why not need to become our reasons why, because they really are. Don't let yesterday hijack your attention from today. He says too many people yearn for the past and get stuck in it. Instead, they should learn from the past and let go of it. And that goes back to everything we've already said, you guys, about really, I say, I don't care. Like, I've had huge past successes, but you know what, guys, if I yearn for the past or live in the past and go, oh, I'm so successful because I've done what I've done, I'm not going to have success tomorrow, because success is not an event. It's a process. And in order for me to continue to be successful in this business, I have to continue to do what I did to be successful. So don't let your good rob you of your great. Don't let your past good successes or your past mistakes and failures rob you and hijack your attention off of today. He says, don't let yesterday take up too much of today. How much energy do you spend, you guys, on yesterday? And if we're constantly looking back at what was and what we did do and have and all of these things, then we're constantly spending all our energy on there. Or if we, are having to, I won't even go there. But anyway, just don't spend your time on yesterday. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is, what did you learn from it, good or bad, period. That's it. That's all yesterday can do for you. It's not going to keep you where you want to go. On page 77, he says, a retentive memory may be a good thing, but the ability to forget is the true token of greatness. Successful people forget. And I love that, you guys, because you know what? Successful people forget yesterday because they know it doesn't help them today, other than what they pulled into today with them and from it. And it also, it helps you forget, people that have crossed you, and you spend so much time on things that doesn't matter. Just move forward and let yesterday go. If you're spending all your time because somebody upset you yesterday and you're thinking about it and stewing over it all day today, guess what you're getting done today? Nothing. So don't let don't let anything of yesterday hijack you of your today. He says they know the past is irrevocable. They're running a race. They can't afford to look behind. Their eye is on the finish line. Magnanimous people forget. They're too big to let little things disturb them. They forget easily. If anyone does them wrong, they consider the source and keep it cool. It's only small people who cherish revenge. Be a good forgetter. Business dictates it and success demands it. And you guys, I'm telling you, you're in a people business. You have to be willing to let your past be your past and forget. And I know Lindsay always like worries that I'm getting dementia because I will tell her things, 5 times because I forget that I told her things. And you guys, I'm not getting dementia. I just forget. And that's okay. I'm not worried because I've got mind health today. But what I do know is that I also forget things of the past that people have done to me. Like there was something, and I can't even remember it, but there was one thing. Oh, I was having an issue, with a family member, and they were trying to talk to me about it. And I totally had forgotten all the things that I had gotten upset about. And I was no longer even upset about it. But whenever they started bringing up their things, I'm like, oh yeah, well, this is what happened that, that the thing that I didn't really like either. But I'm like, I had already forgotten about it. And I thought, I'm so glad I forget and I don't even hang on or let those things like eat at me. So what are you hanging on that eats at you? Don't let it hijack you of the day because we're stewing on it and we're thinking on it and we're still mad about it or upset about it in some way or another. If you desire to make the most of your talent and achieve success, then you need to make what you're doing now your focus. So whatever today is, do that and focus on today. 4, focus on the present. Rita Davenport always said, yesterday's a cancel check, tomorrow's a promissory note. Today is called the present because it's your true gift. And focusing on today, he says, what's ironic is that if you focus on today, you get a better tomorrow. If we don't focus on yesterday and we don't focus on tomorrow, but we focus on what we can do today and not go, well, next month it's going to be better. I'm going to do this next week, or I'm going to make that call tomorrow. That's when we focus on tomorrow too much and we never let it help, us do what we need to today, and our tomorrow never gets any better. We have to focus on today and do what we have to do today and can do today so that our tomorrow can automatically get better for us. He says on page 77, he says, I do certain things every day to help me. Number 1, he says, I read daily to grow. So, you guys, he's successful. I want to do what he does so I can be successful too. So I read daily to grow, which is why we're doing this book club again, because sometimes we need accountability in that to do it, me included. 2, we need to listen to others daily to broaden my perspective. Don't be an island. Don't be living all by yourself. Hang around successful people and they'll help you broaden your perspective. 3, don't hang around unsuccessful people, successful people. 3, spend time daily thinking and apply, and I circled apply, what I am learning. If you sit here and you learn this, you guys, but you don't apply it, it's not going to change your life. 5, 4 is the apply, I think. 5, try to write daily and journal. 6, share the lessons you've learned with others, because that's what we're here to do. That's why we go through what we go through, is so that we can help somebody else get through it. So those are the things that we can do to focus on our present today. He says you can't change yesterday, you can't change tomorrow, but you can choose what you do today. Giving it your focus, he says, will pay you dividends, which is what will help you take care of your tomorrow. 5, stay focused on the results. Anytime you concentrate on the difficulty of the work at hand instead of the results or the rewards, he says you're likely going to become discouraged. You guys, don't, like we always say, don't focus on the results, focus on the activity. If you do activity, you will get better at activity and your results will get better. But if you, and I love how Tom Barrett says, we work in this business and we put in like a lot of hours in the beginning, but we get very little back in return. It's better today than it used to be in Arbonne because of commission, PC, pure pay, all of those things. But sometimes you still feel like you worked really hard and all you got is this. And you go, this isn't worth it. Don't focus on that. Focus on the process every day and know that when you do it consistently, someday you'll get a check and you'll go, gosh, I did this much this week and this check shows this, it was worth it. And then you end up getting that override commission check because each week you do what you need to build those commissions, which builds your client base, which builds says you're doing activity to give you the opportunity to sponsor people, and boom, at the end of the month, when you start developing franchises off of your Arbonne business, you get an override leadership check that you realize you go, I'm not worth it. I didn't do that much to get paid this much. So he says, by focusing on the results, you'll find it easier to stay positive and encouraged. and interaction. And it'll distract you from interactions with difficult people. He says five types of people you're likely to encounter is refreshers, the people that inspire your dreams and energize your talents. And hopefully you feel like you're spending time with a refresher this morning. Refiners, they sharpen your ideas and clarify your vision. I'd like to be that for you too. Reflectors, they mirror your energy, neither adding nor subtracting from it. I'm okay doing that as long as I'm causing no harm. But reducers, they try to reduce your vision and efforts to their comfort level because they don't like seeing you do something they could do, but they choose not to because they're a little lazy. The last one, rejectors. They deny your talent, hinder your efforts, and impede your vision. So these are the people you're going to come in contact with and encounter on your journey in life, no matter what you do. He says, if you remain focused on results, you'll stay grounded. The praise of others is less likely to go to your head, which can have a negative impact of people such as the reducers and the reducers and the rejectors will be minimized. So you won't have anything hurt you, whether it's too much good or the negative that tries to stop you. 6, develop and follow your priorities, which I think we've said over and over and over again on this call today and on all the other calls. He says, if you want to develop your talent, you need to focus. If you're going to focus, you need to work on knowing what your true priorities are and then follow them. So it's not just me that says that, it's John Maxwell. 7, focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. Like we said, if you can't get something in your business to work, like I can't get parties, forget it. Just get an appointment. I don't care. And an appointment will get you confidence and conviction and excitement, and eventually you'll be booking some parties. Therefore, he says, I'm going to talk about that. Page 80, focus on weaknesses instead of strengths is like having a handful of coins. He says, if you spend all your time, trying to tarnish, if you have pure gold and the rest are tarnished copper, he says, and set down your gold coins and spend all your time cleaning and shining copper ones in hopes of making them look more valuable. He says, no matter how long you spend on them, they will never be worth what the gold ones are. He says, go with your greatest assets and don't waste your time. And you guys, I just think of that too, like with priorities, like, what am I spending my time on? And is it ever going to get me what I really want out of life? No. If what I want to spend my time on my priorities, my faith, my family, my job, if I have to have one, my Arbonne business, and then it's going to help me. That's where I'm going to find my gold because it's what is important to me. 8, delay rewards until the job is done. He says, the whole pay now, play later. That is such a huge, huge statement. I think in another book, he says, you can pay now and play later, or you can play now and pay later. Either way, you're going to pay, you guys, but you always, always, always pay more on the back end than you do if you are willing to pay on the front end. So for anybody who's not caring for your business right now because you're playing, and I know life may not feel like playing right now to you, but yet you're still playing more with that life versus focusing and paying your time into your Arbonne business and building it as a business and working to build you to become a business owner. If you're not doing that now, you're going to be paying a bigger price than what you're not willing to give up right now. Let's say I don't want to go do an event because I want to spend time with my family. Can I tell you, you're going to lose more time with your family on the back end of that decision than you ever would if you had put your effort into it, given up a little bit of time on the front end while you still have your family around you, so that when you get to the back end and maybe where I'm at in life, you can afford to have time with your family and be with your family in a way that you wouldn't have if you didn't put that investment into it on the front end. Pay now, play later. Play now, pay later. Either way you pay, you will always, always, always pay more of whatever you want and don't want on the back end than you will if you do it on the front. Do it now, you guys, because now truly is one of those moments in time, and I've said it this whole year of 2018, where we're going to look back and go, this is when there was massive change in our Arbonne business. So we all have energy and talent, you guys. If you know that you have talent and you're energetic and active, but you don't see concrete results, he says, then lack of focus is likely your problem. And it takes talent plus focus to reach your potential and become the person that you desire to be. And I know we all have talent, but what we need to know is, are we all focusing on what it is we need to do to be able to maximize that talent and be a talent plus person? So who has anything, and what did things speak to you on? You can comment on the chat, or you can comment on the comments of the Facebook Live. Unmute yourself if you have something. Thank you, Tammy. I love this book club call too. I'm glad you guys are with us. You guys are welcome.
Hey, Carly, that's me, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole. How are you?
Hi. Good. Hey, this was like hitting the hammer on the head. Mine was back on focus. I mean, we talked this morning, and so it just priorities and focus. I needed to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Cry.
and I love your face.
I love your face. I'm so glad to see you here. I've missed you. I'm glad that we chatted this morning and God put you on my heart. So thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you. You're welcome.
Anybody else? Anybody else learn anything about focus this week?
I just could amen to all of it, and I highlighted again the whole chapter. And I was thinking in the shower this morning, I love that this book, that it's like each week we can perfect a skill to be a talent plus person. Like, I love that that's how this book, I'm figuring out by chapter 3 or 4, that this is how this book is set up, is that the way I'm looking at it is each week I can take whatever he teaches me and start putting it into practice and just start being good at all of these things. But focus is definitely something that, I mean, I think it's true for everyone. If you just focus an ounce of your energy on something, it's better than trying to, do a bunch of things ho-hum. So I just love this chapter. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
And I love whenever you said, I forgot how you said. I was going to type it in the chat. Basically, what I was thinking is no one gets successful also whenever we look around. And I feel like today in our business, like on social media or different things like that, people could maybe be distracted and go, well, I'm going to try and see what she's doing for a little bit and it not work out. Well, then I'm going to try and see what she's doing. Where and I forget what you were saying whenever you said it, but it will never work. Nothing will work if you try to do and jump to multiple different things versus just committing to the process, following your specific upline, and that's everything, or one person for all of us. But I feel like I see so many sisters in Arbonne, especially at the regional vice president level, that try to jump from, and pick the brains. And not that you don't want to pick the brains of like successful people, but they try to drop what they have always been taught and done and go do what looks hot, and it never works. Like, they get nowhere except for probably backwards, honestly, in their business, because they're all over the place, and you can't duplicate that because it's not one thing of focus. So,
and you know what I want to say to that, Lindsay, is that I wish, and I'm going to ask for everyone to trust us, because I will tell you, you have an upline in me, I know for sure, that is doing all that looking for you. I never sit here and so pridefully say, I know everything I need to know, and there's not anything I can learn from other sidelines in our business and evolve on my journey as a leader in network marketing and in Arbonne. And what I know is that I look at all of that. I bring in everything based on my wisdom and experience in helping you know how to put it and apply it with focus, doing still the main thing. And the main thing is hitting a $2,500 building block, sponsoring new people, hitting a goal, and making that what happens every month. You don't have to wonder what everybody's doing. We're teaching you how to use it and do it all. Those are the techniques that are temporary, but we're going to teach it in such a system that never wavers from the principles of what we know we have to have in this business, because that's the kind of leader we are and we know we need to be in order for you to be able to always have what you need this business to be for you. So yeah, I think it's very easy to get distracted today, and I think it's good to be able to look and see what you've got. But what you really need to realize is that we know what's out there and we know what we need to do to help you use it without it hurting you. Because I say all the time, people come and ask me, and I know that these leaders, even MVPs, are asking multiple people to help them. And I'm like, I would be happy to help you, but I don't want to, because if I say anything to you, it's going to just confuse you because you're asking 5 other people at the same time. Go pick a leader and follow that leader and let them teach you how to get successful. Because doing one thing and focusing on one system well will get you more successful than trying to do 5 systems. And we have a system that works, and that we work to evolve and grow as the business in this world grows. So I agree. Anybody else? Thank you, Lindsay and Nicole. I love the interaction. Yes, Lauren, people still work in the field at this level in the company and stuff. Yes, for sure. And that's what keeps us innovative and relevant. You guys, there are leaders in this company even that don't continue to work the way they did to grow. And it's hard because, we have to lead people, but I'm telling you, I always lead with just enough margin to still do personal activity, because if I'm not doing a little bit of personal activity myself, even though I have a huge leadership responsibility for this company, it makes me an ineffective leader for anything else and everything else that I do. So just remember that as you grow as a leader in this company, you always, always, always want to stay active in the field personally yourself, so that you can truly know how this game is played today, because it changes. Okay. Well, thank you guys for spending the morning with me. If this is all we have, then we'll let you go, and we'll be working and preparing for chapter 5. Somebody asked me on our call, you guys, and I haven't decided completely or on our Boxer what book I'm maybe looking at doing next, because I'm always going to be doing a book club call, you guys. You can count on it. We may take our little breaks like we have before, but I'm really thinking of the Simon Sinek book starts with why, and let that be something that we work on, because it's such great material, and he's got it down, and we know our action plan starts with why for a reason. So I love you all. Make it a great weekend. Apply your passion, your focus, and all the initiative and everything that we're learning in this book to your business and your life today and this week. And we'll see you again next Saturday. Bye, guys.